Hey everyone, welcome back to another news-related video. This is Dash Hill Roads here. I am back to talk about Disney's D23. Well, I mean, they're 24. I'm not sure why they call it D23. Why not just call it D24? I'm not really super familiar with all. I mean, I know about this stuff. You know, it's kind of like Nintendo's E3, but or whatever they had. But I don't know why they call it D23. I guess because it's maybe it's Disney's 100th anniversary, but I think that's what they called it in the past too. I think just calling it D23 seems kind of odd. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they call it. And basically, I'm kind of here just to talk about. I'm not watching the direct. It's like an hour long. I actually thought about watching it, but I'm like, it's basically kind of like, it's gonna be kind of like the Oscars or something. They're just going to announce a bunch of stuff and all that we kind of already know and all that, and it's just kind of just feels pointless. So and I mean, yeah, it would make more sense probably like for you guys for me to watch the trust me, there's at least what I've been hearing, it's a lot of the crap we've already heard, but I do kind of want to talk about this stuff because there are some announcements that they talked about and all that. So yeah. But if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and all that. And I don't know if I have really anything else to say. So let's go ahead and get into this. So, yeah, I'm gonna say right now, Disney has, you know, with their, you know, the company as a whole and all that has not had the best last couple years. You know, they've been going downhill and all that, and, a lot of the things they have announced and all that have, not really improved their company at all. And I'm gonna say right now, too, a lot of people still blame Chapek too for the company, you know, falling downhill, and I'm like the dude only has been there for like 2 years. He's only been at the company for freaking 2 years. Well, I mean the CEO at least. I mean, he was at the parks and all that before that, but he was only the CEO for freaking 2 years. There's not a lot of crap he could have done to the company that hasn't already been done. The company's already been in debt, you know, it's already been in debt before that. You know, they've already have had bad movies and all that. I mean, you know, we had like the freaking, like The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. That was under freaking Iger. You know, basically the guy who basically stabbed George Lucas in the back and all that, you know, because he talked them into selling Star Wars to them, and then and all that, and you know, basically stabbed him in the back when he couldn't direct, you know, the movies. And I mean, say what you want about the whole prequels and all that, but you know, I mean, at least they still had heart into them, and I feel like these movies would have been better, but yeah, basically that's kind of what we got. We got all that crap and all that, and that was under Iger. Iger's also, you know, shut down a bunch of shit. Like, you know, he shut down, you know, I'm trying to remember, it was, what was the animation studio again? I can't remember. It was, I don't know, it's the people who made, you know, it's not Hollywood Studios. Actually, I think they owned Hollywood Studios, but they shut that down too. I can't remember this other studio's names and all that. Sorry about that. It just kind of. I sometimes, you know, people just stumble across, you know, what they're trying to think and all that, but they're the people who are behind, you know, like movies like Roger Rabbit and all that, you know, basically it was their version of Fox before they acquired Fox, basically. I can't remember the name of it. I really hate when that happens. I really hate, I can't remember crap like that, but yeah, basically they shut that down, and I've already mentioned it in the past, so it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, basically he's, shut things down and all that, and he's acquired shit and all that. Basically, he went on a money sprint and basically, put Disney in debt. And like I've said in the past, too, it's not like, he knew, well, I mean, he might have knew, well, he didn't know probably COVID was coming either right off the bat, but I think he did know it was spreading because, like, even in February, people were concerned, like, I was at school and all that, and people were concerned, like, because that was my final year at school and all that, and it was, like, spreading in, like, February and all that, and they, like, literally shut down our states and all that, the next month and all that. I think already things got shut down before that, but I think he knew it was going to spread, so he decided to leave the company and put Chapek in out of nowhere. And I'm not going to say Chapek, again, was a great CEO. He didn't do shit when everything was going downhill, but I mean, I don't think the guy even knew what he was really doing and all that. Like, I mean, he did say stupid stuff and all that, but I'm like, I mean, people are even like that. I'm like, so he said some stupid stuff. I mean, compared to the shit that Iger's done and all that, people seem to just, like, ignore that. I mean, heck, I was even on Twitter, earlier today, and I saw someone posting something about Iger and how Iger's a great CEO, and I'm like, all the shit that, Iger has been, Chapek's been blamed for, Iger has been doing for years, and is fucking doing right now. He's literally doing it right now, so I'm just like, I mean, I don't get it, I shouldn't be frustrated, but I am. I'm like, how can you guys not see that? Like, how can you guys, well, I'm not, saying you, the people watching these videos. I'm just saying in general, like, how do people, like, not see this stuff coming? How do they say, like, how do they, how can they criticize one person for doing this one thing and then they can't criticize the other person? I don't really get it. I don't get it at all. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure some of these people on Twitter are probably people who work for Disney and all that. And probably are getting paid for that stuff, but to post stuff like that. But a lot of the people are not working for Disney. They just don't. They're blinded by it. And I'm gonna say that about, like, the whole president thing. Now I don't want to go into politics too much. It's just getting a little bit off topic here, but it kind of does run into the whole Disney, corporation and all that, and kind of why they've kind of fallen really low on their faces. I think they've always kind of been political, but they've never, like, been this bad. Like they've never been this bad. But, like, basically they attack, their employees because they vote for Trump or something like that. They vote for Trump or all that, and they basically trash on them and all that, and you can't work for them. And that's just horrible. I'm like, who cares? I'm not gonna lie. I shouldn't say much about that because honestly, I probably would vote for Donald Trump. I'm not gonna say he's a great he was a better president than what we have currently. I mean, the president we have now, prices have skyrocketed and all that, and I feel like jobs have been shutting down and all that. With Donald Trump, and when he was in charge, I do think things ran a bit better, but he didn't really he didn't, fix the tax problem. Like, you're still having to pay, taxes and all that on, things, and, it gets kind of expensive. I mean, yeah, taxes are supposed to go to the roads and all that, which, I get, but but the thing is, though, is it's like, it's just like, people, well, Donald Trump, when he was president and all that, yeah, I will say the insurance was still bad. Like you needed insurance to get fucking medication, otherwise you're spending, like, hundreds of dollars. it's actually gotten worse, and insurance is actually not covering a lot even now, but yeah, I feel like, yeah, he should have fixed that problem. I mean, you could say, too, it's part of the states, and yeah, the states do have an effect on it, but the president also has an effect of a lot of that stuff, too, so it's not just the states, it's, and that's kind of like the pricing and all that, too, but I mean, I don't follow all this political stuff. I just kind of I just observe the stuff, I just like see the surroundings. I mean, I don't follow social media and all that. I just kind of that's how I do it, and that's kind of like the whole Disney company. Like, I've had people shit on me in the past and all that and say that like basically, because I, believe in this or that, basically, it's because I got it off the source. I'm like, I didn't get the shit off of YouTube. I mean, yeah, I get some of the stuff off of YouTube, but it's just like, it's just basically like, it's just basically like, it's what I see, I observe. I don't just watch the stuff. Like, I mean, when Disney bought Fox, I was literally like, I wasn't even like, I mean, the whole reason, I watch Clownfish TV, but the whole reason why I subscribe to them is because it's nice to have someone have your own opinion on you, like, instead of, disagreeing with everything you gotta say. And, I mean, I'm not saying people can't have their own opinion, but, sometimes it is nice to have someone listen to you and all that. And a lot of this stuff I've been telling people is what Clownfish TV's been saying, too. So, yeah, I just hate how people are like that, and I mean, I don't know why people can't just have their own opinion. I mean, a lot of my friends hate Donald Trump and think he's an awful person, but I'm still friends with him, I'm still friends with him. I'm like, who cares, Just because you vote for someone doesn't mean, it makes you a bad person, I just don't get it, I just don't freaking get it. And that's the problem with these companies, not just Disney, but other studios too in Hollywood. They freaking shit on people who have a different opinion and all that, and it's just fucking awful. It's just awful. But yeah, Disney has done this. Disney has definitely been doing this stuff for years. They've been political, I think, forever. I think even Walt Disney was very political, but I don't think they've ever been this bad before. They have gotten way bad, and I mean, people saying people again saying that Iger, has come back and has saved Disney. He's done shit. He's done nothing. All the shit he keeps saying he's gonna do, he has not fucking done it. And yeah, we get all these announcements here, but I want to clarify these announcements which I'll be talking about in a second, are all crap that's been pretty much previously mentioned before. I mean, there's some stuff that's new, but a lot of it's been previously mentioned before. So, I'm just like, it's just nothing really, to it, but I mean, yeah, I have not really watched the whole video, because it's like an hour long, but I mean, I kind of just don't really want to, because other people have already kind of watched it, and it sounds like they just basically are announcing the same thing. I mean, yeah, I should probably watch the video, but it's just kind of like the Oscars. Like, it's just freaking it's predictable and boring and just, I don't know, just whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of going off kind of like what I'm trying to say here, But yeah, basically though, that's the thing though, is people are still kind of praising Iger. I just don't get it, because I mean, this guy is doing the same shit that Chapek was being blamed for and all that, and he's been doing this stuff for years. I mean, I can understand maybe in the past, because some people are saying that even though he's been doing this for years and people are now calling out for it, some people aren't even calling him out at all. People are just like saying he's a lot better than Chapek was. He's not. He's horrible. He's a horrible CEO. Sometimes I miss Chapek in charge of the company, just because, at least with Chapek, I've said this in the past, I'll say it again, with Chapek, at least the company was dying faster. Iger is just freaking dragging the damn company out more. And I'm not saying I really would like for the company to die, but at this point, I don't have any faith of it really being saved. I want it to be saved, but I just don't. I just don't really have any faith in it. It's just that's kind of how bad it's gotten, you know. I mean, there's a point in time where I was, hoping maybe it'd get better and all that, but now it's just like, it's just not getting better. It's getting worse and worse. And I mean, we do have the announcements, which I think I'm probably going to go ahead and just talk about some of the announcements just because, that's what this video is about. But I'm just saying that they've had quite a few years that have not been great. Even before the pandemic, although a lot of their movies have, like they did well, a lot of them were also hated in 2019. They were hated. And I think 2018, they had like Ralph Breaks the Internet and all that, and I think they've had some other live action movies that were hated too and all that, and that's kind of how 2019 was too. A lot of movies were hated. I mean, they had some good ones that have come out, but some of those movies were already being made, like under Fox and all that before Disney acquired, it. Which, like I said, they freaking way overspent on it, and they didn't get a lot out of it. They got some sequels, and all that. They got some they got like sequels and all that in the library, but a lot of that stuff was already made before that and all that, and all they'd be really making money off of it is, if people watch it on the streaming platform, but like, if you could just go, since it's already been made, you can get it on DVD and all that. There's not really a reason to really watch it on Disney Plus, and they were trying to make sequels to these movies, but the problem is a lot of these movies were already milked to death when Fox owned it. So when Disney acquired it, basically, it just got kind of out of hand. I think what was happening with Fox, I think Fox was probably losing money too, and they probably were just like, let's just sell the company off and let somebody else deal with it. That's what it kind of feels like, because they were kind of, I don't know if they were doing as bad as what we're dealing with now, but I do know they were kind of struggling, though, I think, too, because a lot of their movies are I've been hearing more mixed reviews and all that, and all that, so, I don't know, maybe they just wanted to sell up. The guy who owned it, I think his name was Rock, or I don't remember his name, but he basically, was like old, but he turned around and went and bought Tubi, so I don't really know why that was, It just felt like he kind of just didn't want to deal with it anymore, so he kind of just, it just felt like he was losing money on it and just wanted to sell it off. That's kind of what it felt like. So, yeah, in a way, Disney kind of just got, Disney got some stuff in it, too. They got Hulu, and, they got Blue Sky Studios, and they got the Wolverine and, Deadpool. They got both of them, because they were mostly Fox, they were Fox, properties, and they got them. But basically, they shut down, Blue Sky, Now that technically was under Chapek. Chapek was under that when he shut that down, but still, they clearly, they didn't know what they were doing with it anyway, and, I think if Iger being in charge, it probably would have got shut down, but I have a feeling it probably still wouldn't have, it probably would have, the movies probably be in declining as well, as their other stuff they bought, Star Wars and all that, and then they have, they have Hulu, but basically they overspent on Hulu too, so basically they not only spent all that money on Fox, and they didn't really make their money back with Disney Plus, but then they bought, because they had to spend all the content and all that for the platform, but they also, were forced to buy Hulu and all that, so they basically gave, Comcast their own money. Yeah, they gave Comcast their own money and all that. And basically, Comcast is now, building, their own parks at Epic Universe and all that. So yeah, basically, it's kind of just been a downfall. I'm kind of at the point, kind of feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's the thing, though. It just feels like it's kind of a never-ending circle, how you basically, a circle, when you, walk around in a circle and all that. You basically just end up right back where you are. And that's kind of what's happening with this company. It's like every time they do some good things, like they produce some good movies and shows here and there, and then they go right back to making shitty stuff again. And that's kind of what's happening here. Like we've had some good movies like, you know, Deadpool and Inside Out that actually have made a lot of money. But a lot of their other movies this year, I don't know if they did a whole lot, you know, and all that. And these movies, you know, were in development for a little while too. So and all that. I don't know when Inside Out 2 was in development, but I do know it was announced a couple of years ago. It was announced a couple years ago. I believe it was like they showed like a picture of it and all that. So it was announced a while ago. They announced it at like D23 and all that, you know, like back in I think it was 2022 before, you know, Iger came back. They even showcased, you know, the 100th anniversary, you know, Disney logo. So you got like that. But this year, I don't know. This year is kind of just like they're D23 this year, which is kind of what I'm kind of getting at here. I don't know if there's really a lot they really have to offer. I don't know. I mean, but most of it seems like sequels. And I want to clarify. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. A lot of this shit was already announced before this even happened. Toy Story 5 was already announced before that. Basically, they have a Toy Story 5. They have an Incredibles 3 coming out. Yeah, they have that coming out. They even have this movie, which I forgot what it's called. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce it. I think it's Ellie or Ellen, or I don't remember how it is. I saw the trailer. A lot of people are saying it looks boring. I mean, it kind of does, but it does look like something. It looks like something that could be a little interesting, but yeah, it does look a little boring. But they showed that like in the Elemental, you know, movie. I went to see the Elemental movie in the theaters, and I saw that, and and then they pushed it all the way till next year. So it's getting pushed till next year. Because I think they wanted to bank more on Inside Out 2 and all that, which made a bunch of money. And I mean, people are, like, some people I've seen too, are kind of getting all pissy with people because they're like, I'm like, this is why, you know, people are not, you know, well, this is why, you know, the companies are not making, you know, new movies, you know, I mean, you know, because people only support the, you know, the sequels. They support the sequels and all that, you know. So basically, they're basically saying people like me, you know, basically because we watch the sequel movies, you know, it's our fault. It's not our fault. I actually watched Elemental. That was an original movie last year. I watched that movie. That movie was actually really good. I was actually wanting to watch this movie called, it's an imaginary movie by Paramount. I actually didn't get to watch it though because I didn't have the money to really go see it, but I wanted to watch it. So I didn't get to watch that, but there was also, you know, other movies they've made. I mean, I watched some sequels. Like I'm not gonna say I didn't. I watched like Kung Fu Panda 4 and all that, but I mean, if the movies are good, I'll watch them. But the problem is it's not really the sequels. You can't blame the audience for all this. It's mainly, I'm not gonna say there aren't people out there that complain about stuff and then do it anyway, you know. But that's very rare, especially in this case. It's just people, they don't advertise this shit very well. Like Elemental. That's why Elemental didn't do very well at first, because they didn't freaking advertise it. But once it came to theaters, it got better. It didn't really make as much money as Inside Out 2, but it did a lot better. It did. It did a lot better and all that, and you know, people really liked it. Well, I guess people didn't really like it. It was kind of split on people, but the thing is, though, it did eventually make its money back because they started advertising it more. If they keep doing that, so people would probably watch it. But of course, the movies have to be good too. If the movies are not good, then people are not going to want to see it, you know? And that's the problem. And basically now we got all these, sequels coming out. So we got all these sequels, And again, a lot of this shit was already, announced before that. I mean, again, the whole point, it's kind of like a Nintendo Direct, like, Nintendo doesn't do E3s anymore, which I kind of miss when they did that, like, where they had all the big announcements and then show the trailers afterwards. It made it kind of stand out a little bit. But basically, it's kind of like, it's supposed to be, showing off, stuff and all that, that's coming up for the company. The problem is, though, is a lot of this shit we already kind of knew about, and we did get some stuff like Toy Story 5. We got like they showed some details about it and all that, like. But I think all we really know about the movie, though, is that it's going to be about like technology and all that, and we don't really know what the plot is going to be about exactly. We just know it's about technology, and I'm like, that's not really a thing. Like, that's not really a big thing there and all that. And I see some people already kind of trashing on the movie and all that. And I'm not gonna say I don't agree with them on, because I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't trash on the movie until it actually comes out, but I can kind of see why people are not happy, because we already have 4 Toy Story movies and all that, and the 4th one, it ended the movie, we don't need another one, and all that. But I mean, to be fair, we're also getting sequels like DreamWorks to with like Shrek, a 5th Shrek movie and all that, but I don't even know what details that one has yet. That's the problem too. A lot of these movies don't have a lot of details into them, so they announce them but they don't really have any details on them. But that's the thing though too. What really is strange about Toy Story 5 though is it's coming out in 2026, not 2025. I would think it would come out in 2025 because that'd be technically the like, how many years would that be? Well, I think it'd be 30 years since would it be 30 years? It'd be 30 years since the original Pixar movie came out. That'd be a perfect time to celebrate, the first movie. That'd be cool, but I mean, again, I don't know if the movie's gonna be any good, but I figured they'd do something like that. But no, I guess they're gonna be releasing it in 2026, which I don't really get, but I don't know what they do. But again, that was kind of announced out of nowhere. I feel like a lot of these movies were kind of announced. Well, I mean, I guess Toy Story 5 could have been announced a while ago. I don't know, but I think some of these movies too, I think I've heard some of them were announced. Like, I think they were already talking about making a sequel to Moana a while ago before they announced it again. I think I remember hearing something about that. And then they announced it and all that. But it does seem like there's a lot of sequels and all that. I think there's some original movies coming here and there, but a lot of it's just sequels. And I don't know if we heard anything about Star Wars and all that. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody really cares about Star Wars anymore at this point. I think people are just done with it. They're just burnt out. I mean, I think there's just too much Star Wars. And people are just sick of it. I mean, I haven't really watched a lot of the Star Wars shows because I hear a lot of them are bad. I'm just kind of going off what people have been saying. People are sick of them. People say and all that, and just kind of whatever. I mean, people really need a break from it. And that's the problem too. Like, when again, this is kind of where being a big company kind of comes in too. Because Disney's so massive, they need to make profit on the properties they own, so they have to freaking make a bunch of content and all that, so we can't get breaks. Because before Disney acquired Marvel and Lucasfilm and all that, we weren't getting as much content from them because companies were smaller and all that, and you have to worry about other companies having to make those fans happy, That's the problem. That's what I was trying to get at when they bought out Fox. I'm like, that's not a good idea because now they gotta make the fans happy for that property too. Plus they gotta pay all the employees and all that, which I feel like was all a waste of money and all that. And I can say that about Universal too. I think Universal kind of runs into that problem a little bit too. But Universal too, I think they still, although they own the stuff, I don't think they actually have as much control over it as Disney. Like although they own DreamWorks I think still has control over a lot of the stuff. And then I think that's like that with Illumination too. But with like Disney, a lot of their crap is they pretty much have control over all of it and don't really let other people do their job at times. But still, that's kind of the problem with a company getting too massive too. Is like even if the stuff was good, which is not really good, but even if it were good, trying to please all the fans and all that, you gotta focus on making content from like one company to the next and all that, and it just ends up becoming overwhelming, and you gotta spend a bunch of money, and I don't know, it just makes a mess, and all that. But I don't know, but yeah, they did have a lot of the movies, but yeah, a lot of them are sequels. Sadly, I feel like we're not getting a lot of original stuff, pretty much. I guess they also announced we'll have Zootopia too. They showed some images there too. But like I said, all this shit was already announced before that. They already announced a Zootopia 2. They already announced a Toy Story 5. They already announced, which I don't think they announced an Incredibles 3 yet, but there was rumors that there was going to be one, but they didn't, announce that, I don't think. But my point is they already announced a lot of that shit already, and now they have it in there, and now they basically put it, like they retold everything they said in here. Now the thing is though, like where I feel like the whole Disney, d23 and all that, and where I think this kind of, where they kind of start announcing stuff that they kind of, that's kind of a little bit fresher is, they have announced that they were going to, they're going to plan on building I think a villain theme park or something like that, or not like a big park, like Disney World and all that. I mean, it's going to be in the parks, but they were talking about doing that, I think, and things like that, and just changing some stuff up, because they got to compete with Universal, because Universal is making Epic Universe. The problem is though, it's going to take them forever to do this stuff. That's the problem. I mean, even if they get started on it right now, building that stuff is going to take forever. And if you go too fast and you rush your employees, then the work will get broken. Because the rides won't work right, So you gotta build it slowly. Because if you build it too fast, it's like building a house. You can't just rush it. Because if you rush it too much, it won't turn out right. That's kind of how it is with these parks. But it could also be kind of maybe part of the reason why a lot of them are falling apart too and all that. But yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna go though, because I do know they've already had a like Tiana's ride and all, and people are not a fan of it, so I don't know how well this will go. I do hear there's also something happening with Walt Disney. They're actually going to make an animatronic version of him, I think, for Disneyland. Which honestly is just creepy, in my opinion. It's creepy. Maybe some people will like it because it's probably the closest thing to get to Walt Disney, but until they unfreeze them in the future, or whatever they're gonna do, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't even think they froze him. I think that was just kind of ended up becoming a myth. I could be wrong. I think it was a myth. I don't think he actually froze himself, but I could be wrong. But anywho, I was gonna say that the whole Walt Disney animatronic thing, I feel like that's just a bit creepy in my opinion. It's just, I don't know why, it just creeps me out. I don't think I'd want that, but It's like if I had an animatronic of my dog or something, it'd be just creepy, after he passes away. But yeah, basically though, it's just kind of it's just kind of one of those things, that I just don't feel. I feel like it's a bit. It sounds cool on paper, but I feel like it's a bit creepy and all that. And you got stuff like that, and yeah, I mean, I think there's supposed to be a Monsters Inc. land thing coming too. I think I've heard though that's been in development forever too. It's just been. That's the thing though. They announce a lot of this stuff, but it ends up kind of just taking forever for them to actually do something. They might do something now because Epic Universe is coming, but honestly, I don't feel like they have a lot really going for them and all that. And the stock is still not great either. They announced this stuff and the stock went up a little bit, but it's still in the 80s. It's still way down. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten the 70s yet. I'm waiting for the stock to go in the 70s. I don't know how low the stock will go because, I'm sure there's some people in the company that probably own stock. Or people that have left the company probably own stock, but basically though, yeah, the stock is dropping and all that, and it probably doesn't help that they've also, we had, Nelson Peltz sell his stock, and then I forgot the other guy's name, but he sold his stock too. I kind of wish though he kind of kept fighting, but for the company to get freaking Bob Iger ousted, but I don't know if he would have done anything to change the company either, but I do know that I would have liked to have him back as maybe him in the board seat or something, but he just kind of gave up. I think he probably just realized it. I don't think he ran away like a pussy and hid in the corner. I don't think he did that like some people would think. I think he just didn't want to fight with them because he's in his 80s. I'm like, he's like, it's just not worth it. Like he feels like maybe the company's just too damaged. I still think it could be saved if you had the right kind of people in there, but at this point in time, since we have no one really fighting for him, I don't know if it's going to be saved. I don't know. It'd be funny if someone higher up was able to buy him out, but I don't know what would happen, honestly. Having somebody buy out the company. Because I know there's Elon Musk and all that, who's clearly hates Bob Iger because he freaking cursed him out and all that. Well, he didn't curse him out in person, but he basically said he can go fuck himself is what he said. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that's probably the greatest thing to say, but clearly he does hate Bob Iger, but I don't think I'd want him to buy it because, after what he did to Twitter, I'm not going to say he completely ruined it, but I didn't like how he rebranded it to X and all that, and it's just kind of stupid. I think now, too, you have to actually have a membership to type. Because I was telling you guys earlier, I was typing something on Twitter, to this person that's posting about Bob Iger being this magical hero who's way better than Chapek was, and how awful Chapek was, even though, like I said, he's done the same shit Chapek's was accused of, and he's still doing it to this day, so he's not even fucking hiding it. So like I said, he announced all this. He keeps announcing shit and all that, and that's the thing though too. It's are a lot of these things gonna come? I'm sure they're gonna probably come, but he's kind of announced he announced he was gonna sell off, parts of the company and all that because the company's losing money, but he has not done that. He's also said that he's talked about how Disney's too expensive, but the prices are still going up. They actually have been going up nonstop. And I'm sure they'll blame, fucking inflation for that, but it ain't inflation. It's just people that being greedy bastards and only care about, like, feeding off rich people. And I'm sure even a lot of rich people don't even want to pay that kind of shit for, parks, but I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot really going on, like really going on with this company. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. I would hope that maybe someone could buy them out or something but right now I think they're just right now I just have no faith in them and all that. But I think before I do go, I do want to kind of talk about this. I was gonna talk about this though because I thought I'd bring it up. This is kind of something that kind of does bug me a little bit. Now it shouldn't really bug me too much, but it kind of does. See, there are people that are willing to pay a crap ton of money to go to these parks. There are, and my main takeaway with this is the fact that other people like us cannot afford it. I mean, even if we save up, they keep raising the prices. And when you save up to actually be able to finally go to the parks, you can't even go to them because they keep raising the prices. My takeaway is that some people just like for example, I'm gonna say this. I don't really care. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I don't really care for my uncle too much. I kind of don't really care for him. He's kind of a smart aleck, I should say. But basically, he was talking about how he went to went to Disney World and all that. Like he went to the Hollywood Studios and all down there, and I'm like, wasn't that kind of expensive? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like he just doesn't care. I'm like. And that's the problem. There's people like that don't care because they have the money to do that. And yeah, my uncle and my aunt do make a lot of money. I think they kind of blow their money on a lot of stuff too. So my uncle also says something about saving up 1 million pennies. Like he's making a goal to make 1 million pennies, and 1 million pennies. That's kind of a bit strange to do, but. I don't know. I really I don't like my uncle. I don't like him. He's like a smart ass. I kind of don't really like him and all that. But I mean, I'm not saying everybody. I mean, some people just want to go to have fun. But I'm just again, at the same time, just other people can't have fun because they can't afford it because it's too expensive and all that. I mean, it's over $100 to go to the park now. I mean, I guess maybe going every so often probably wouldn't be so bad, but some people just don't care and go all the time. I think my uncle is one of those people. He just doesn't care, but I don't talk to him much anymore. I don't really care for him. I just don't. And I don't care if I even say that because it's true. I'm just even trying to have a conversation with the guy, it's just he just basically, it's nails on a chalkboard, basically. He tried to have a conversation with him, and he just goes on and on. I swear he will do that. He will go on a rampage, or not a rampage, but a chatter thing where for example, I'll ask him, "What's your favorite color?" and he'll have to go in extremely details explaining about favorites and all that. And I'm like, how does this person have friends, to talk to? I don't get it. But, I don't know, but I'm probably going to go ahead and end up letting things go from here. I know that's kind of a weird way to kind of, let the video go, but I just kind of wanted to share that because, like I said, there are people out there that are willing to pay that much money and don't think about people who are poor and all that, and it's just kind of sad. But I'm not saying every person who's rich is like that, but there are people like that, and it's just kind of sad. But I mean, if you want to go to have fun, that's fine. But I'm just saying, doing it all the time and all that, it's just kind of, I don't know, just it makes you kind of look kind of selfish because you're. I mean, they're gonna keep raising the prices and all that because people will willingly pay for it, But I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and probably let things go from here. I'll see you all later. Have a nice day. Bye bye.